Welcome to Junior Achievement, and thanks for your interest in being a JA volunteer. In this video, we'll talk about how to get involved with Junior Achievement and what the typical in-class volunteer experience might look like. We'll cover what to expect when you get to the school, what to wear, what to bring, and more. Every class is different, but remember the teacher will be there to assist you. Let's get started. Volunteers are essential to Junior Achievement. They are the backbone of our organization and our most valuable asset in helping Junior Achievement to reach nearly 5 million students each school year. There are many ways for volunteers to engage with JA, including supporting special events, fundraisers, student competitions, camps, specialty programs, JA in a Day programs, and traditional delivery. Traditional delivery refers to experiences where a volunteer visits their assigned JA class for a series of dates. It may be once a week until the program is completed, bi-weekly, twice a week, or however you and the teacher and the JA staff configure the schedule. It's always a best practice to connect with your teacher prior to the start of your JA program. You can correspond by email, phone, or even schedule a visit at the school to meet your teacher and the class before the start of your program. This can ensure that you feel prepared, confident, and equipped to fulfill your JA volunteer experience. Before your first JA session, all volunteers and teachers receive JA training from the JA staff. Training sessions are usually held separately at the volunteer's office, the local JA area office, or at the school. Volunteers are trained on how to use the JA materials, objectives of the program being delivered, roles and responsibilities, as well as facilitation and classroom management techniques. Volunteers also receive their JA kit of materials and class assignment information. Some volunteers are assigned to work in teams, and some teach the entire program on their own. Prior to your first visit, you will need to complete and return any necessary paperwork like the JA Volunteer Conduct Standards Form, JA Social Media Policy, and background check if required. Educators are provided with an overview of the JA materials, objectives of the program, and what to expect on the day of the event and how they may assist their volunteers throughout the JA program. JA staff provide all information and materials for educators and volunteers. In some instances, the JA area staff may ask you to administer a pre-test before facilitating your first JA session. In other situations, the JA staff or classroom teacher may handle this task. Check with your JA staff representative to confirm plans and expectations. JA recommends wearing business casual clothes at minimum, or clothes that might represent your company, such as a shirt with your company logo on it. Depending on the age group of students, you may be bending over, kneeling, or writing on a chalk or marker board, so keep these activities in mind as you dress for your volunteer experience. Check with your JA contact for any other specific instructions or recommendations. The most important item to bring with you is your JA kit of materials and your guide for volunteers and teachers. When you're prepping for each session, refer to the guide for volunteers and teachers to identify and gather the materials needed for the day's lesson. While reviewing the guide, go ahead and highlight, circle, or write personal notes to prepare for your lessons. Adding personal and professional examples that relate to the content will help the students to connect the real world to the classroom. Alternatively, if you prefer to access and use the electronic version of the guide, don't forget to bring your tablet or device. Also, know your login credentials for JA Connect in order to access the digital materials via the teacher's computer. Writing your login credentials in your guide for volunteers and teachers is a great way to ensure you have this information for every lesson. In terms of personal items, you might want to bring along a water bottle. Even though most schools have water fountains, it's always a good idea to be prepared. A timing device such as a watch or phone can also be helpful to keep you on track with your assigned class time and to time student activities. You may choose to bring a small prize or treat for the students often at your last visit. If you choose to do this, be sure to get it approved by your teacher beforehand. Bring individually packaged treats and avoid major allergens such as peanuts. JA recommends bringing a few extra as student numbers often change from the information provided by the school. JA also recommends bringing the same item to give to all students versus giving students choices. This helps to eliminate hurt feelings and competition for the prizes. Where you should park really depends upon the school. Some schools allow parking in their lot, while others do not. Check to see if there are any signs posted in the lot with restrictions. If all else fails, JA recommends street parking in the neighborhood. When you're parking on the streets, please be sure to check signs for restrictions. Don't forget to look carefully for street cleaning signs or permit parking signs. JA recommends arriving at least 15 minutes early. When you get to the school, enter through the main entrance. You may have to press an intercom button to gain admittance to the school. Most often, you'll have to check in at the front office and/or a security desk, and you may have to show a photo ID and wear a visitor badge or name tag. If the school provides you with a visitor badge or name tag, be sure to wear it at all times so that staff can identify you as a visitor to the school. Some schools may require you to follow other security measures. The front office personnel will direct you to your JA classroom. Upon completing your JA session, don't forget to check out at the front office. If you're running late or get lost, call your JA contact or the school. The school phone number is usually provided by the local JA area with your volunteer materials. You may also get an email with the contact information. You may also want to let your company coordinator know of your delay, especially if you cannot get a hold of your JA representative. If you're no longer available to participate as a volunteer, please contact the local JA area office as soon as possible so that they may recruit a replacement or develop another plan for that class. Upon arriving at your school or teaching location, signing in and locating your classroom or teaching room, you may have a few moments to connect with your classroom teacher. Use this time to talk through any outstanding questions, learn about your class, review your discussion points, set up and organize materials such as table tents, handouts, and to complete the JA certificates that students will receive at the end of the program. Work with your classroom teacher to determine who will fill in the student name, date, and school name on each certificate. These need to be completed by the end of the JA program experience. If you're teaching with a team member or other volunteer, confirm that each of you know your roles and when any transitions should take place. Your teacher is required by law to be present with you in the classroom at all times. The school may have other helping adults rotating throughout the classrooms, such as paraeducators and specialists. Let your teacher know what kind of assistance would be most useful to you. Discipline and behavior management are the teacher's responsibility. Should you have difficulties with a student, ask for the teacher to step in. Once you've concluded your JA program, celebrate the student's success by handing out the JA certificates and enjoying a treat with the students if desired. Your local JA staff should instruct you on what to do with leftover kit materials, as well as plans for who will administer and collect the program post-test. Volunteer safety is of utmost importance to JA USA and all JA areas. During your volunteer training, JA area staff should include mention of classroom emergency procedures. Volunteers are instructed to follow school policy and the instruction of their assigned classroom teacher in the event of any emergency. Your JA program may include digital resources which rely on classroom technology. Please review the digital assets and classroom technology video. To view this video and other resources, visit JA USA's YouTube channel and click on Volunteer Resources. You can also ask your JA area staff representative about other resources that exist. We hope you enjoy your JA volunteer experience. If you have additional questions, you can always reach out to your local JA area representative. For more information about specific JA programs or to locate the JA area office closest to your location, please visit www.juniorachievement.org. As a Junior Achievement volunteer, you're part of a network of more than 250,000 volunteers who impact nearly 5 million students across the USA to own their economic success. Junior Achievement USA gratefully acknowledges Fidelity Investments for their dedication to the development of additional training resources for JA volunteers. Junior Achievement appreciates its partnership with Fidelity Investments to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy.